The EPA is joining a state investigation into the discovery of thousands of barrels of chemicals stored at a property in the town of Rocky Top. Some of the barrels have leaked into a nearby creek and onto other property west of Norris Dam. Authorities say it appears one man had been storing those barrels out in the open. State and local law enforcement officers descended on that property Friday, launching a drone to get a better sense of the scope of that scene. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office says no criminal charges are expected, but there may be civil penalties. State environmental officials tell 10 News the review is ongoing and they'll release a few details in the near future.